Hey, this is Adawies. Thank you for tuning in to today's podcast. In my discussion for today is going to be um, about being complacent. Being complacent. Uh, I see that that's on the horizon, and that is problematic in the season that we're in, where we as a people are becoming so complacent in our positioning when it comes to things in our lives that can affect us in a long term situation or circumstances that we face in our life. A lot of times, when we are stuck in our ways or we have too much old school in us, per se, and we're challenged for change, we become so uncomfortable and um, being happy uh, requires you to sometimes have to move out of a state of being complacent. When you have complacency, you can have a life of boredom. Your life can be stale. You're not spontaneous. Um, you just uncomfortable with change because you're comfortable with the state that you're in. So this podcast today is really a conversation that need to be had where we need to be challenged to do different and to become different, because being complacent is not getting us anywhere. A lot of us are complacent in our health, and we don't do anything new to try to better ourselves in our health. And in the African American race, that seems to be a struggle because all we know is soul food. All we know is what mommy and daddy taught us about fried chicken, greens, and um, uh, having the meal after church, running to the restaurants, frying foods. And we're not doing our research. We're not digging deep in holistic healing and try to find out what it is that we can do to better ourselves in the African American race when it comes to our health. A lot of times we're just lazy, and laziness is connected to being complacent. We're lazy thinkers, and we don't want to put in the work to do better or to look better because um, our mindsets are not shifted, and we need a mindset shift. We need to begin to embrace new things because God always unfolding something new, but we need to get in a position where we start to catch up what it is that God is trying to present to us and to unfold for us to be able to get to a different destination. Being complacent um, should not be your final destination, but it seems to be our final destination because we put off for tomorrow what we could complete today. And we are huge on procrastination. And that's why a lot of us we see slow processing things, and we stop in the midst of due process because we are not finishers. And if this podcast is allowing you to rethink some things about yourself and to pause for station identification, then that's good. When you feel challenged uh, over a matter of a situation, that means that it's helping you. It's helping you when you are in a conflict with yourself. Uh, and you know that you need to do what you need to do that's necessary to bring about a change. Being complacent or becoming complacent is not a good idea. It is really not a good idea in these times because what it does, it keeps you behind time. It keeps you stuck. It keeps you not moving forward. It keeps you not being adventurous. It keeps you not being hungry and thirsty for the right things, where your life can begin to look a little bit more different than what it's looking now. We're afraid. We have allowed ourselves to be slaves to fear because of the idea of something being different, changing. Now, if you are a believer and you have faith in God, we have to have faith, uh, because faith allows you to take chances. And a lot of us don't want to take chances because we're comfortable with being comfortable. And a lot of us can't go any further in our positioning on our stands in life, and we can't grow in entrepreneurship and businesses. We can't grow in ministry. We can't grow within ourselves. Our growth is little because we don't want to think out of the box. We don't want to come out of uncomfortability. We're just complacent, sitting still. I challenge you in this podcast to kind of think about the things that I'm saying in this conversation with you. Think about it. Even in your, we want more. We want to obtain more. We want the riches. We want the prosperity. We want debt freedom. Even in debt freedom, a lot of us don't take time out to pull your credit reports and look and see what all three of the credit reports are saying and challenge the things on your credit report, or pay off debt and get out of collections and become more conscious, and credit awareness is something that we're not embracing. We should have a goal set for ourselves individually that we want to be able to get to that 800 credit score. So that means that we have to come out of complacency and we got to start embracing doing some things differently in order for us to be able to see differently. That's even in relationships. We don't want to put in the works of relationship. We don't want to compromise. We don't want to meet the other one halfway. We want to be the only person that has the voice. The man wants to be the only one that has the voice to say so. The woman wants to just to be the only one that has the voice and to say so. When it's a partnership in relationships, any relationship can work through compromise. Any relationship can work when both have the same desires to be able to apprehend and to set personal goals for your relationship. That way, you'll be able to obtain them together. That means that each one has to be able to have the ability to yield to the other and to be able to have an ear to hear the voice of the woman, or have an ear to hear the voice of the man, and then you're meeting in the middle, and then both of you all can link arms together and invite God into your reunion, and then you're going to have a blessed, prosperous relationship. Black love is possible. Any love relationship is possible when we rethink our choices and decisions and rethink some things about how we have allowed ourselves to be in a stuck place. Okay. Being complacent leaves less room for improving yourself. Think about that. Mm. And innovating, which is a lack of innovation. What does that mean to have a lack of innovation? A lack of drive. Stuck. Nothing motivates you. No one else can seem to motivate you because your mindset is seared and is stuck on what's comfortable. Being uncomfortable leaves you in a place where you know that you can embrace growth. Growth happens under pressure. And that's something that we need to kind of meditate on. When you're under pressure and you're being challenged to change, then complacency has no weight at all in your thought process, in your life, because you're falling out of agreement with being stuck and being complacent. Let's not have that mindset where we just refuse to change. You're set in your ways, and your state in mind is just not fruitful. Your thinking, your thought pattern, your thought process is just, you're stuck. Man, don't let women do all the work. Women, don't let the men do all the work. Let's become innovators and begin to invent something new. Coming out of complacency. We should not want to be complacent anymore. Choose today, from the nuggets that I dropped in this podcast, that you're going to fall out of agreement with just going through the mundane routine of being complacent. Challenge yourself in weight loss. Challenge yourself in better health. Challenge yourself to embrace prosperity on many levels in your life so you can see change and that you can say that you have left a legacy for others to be able to benefit from because you began to be a go-getter. So let's get up, stop being complacent, and do some different things and become adventurous, because being complacent is not bringing happiness. You're showing up fake. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. Until next time, you be blessed.